As a player in Dungeons & Dragons, the character sheet is your number one tool because it represents your character as a whole, all their abilities, their features, and their traits. If you pick a character that is spellcasting, you will need to use the spell sheet, and this part of the character sheet is something that I think a lot of new players and people new to playing spellcasters can look at and be easily overwhelmed with. So we're going to walk you through it and how to use the spell sheet in D&D 5e. So we're just going to start at the top of the sheet. There's a section that says Spellcasting Class, and this is your player character class, whether you're a wizard, sorcerer, warlock, or even a paladin. You'll write that in this box. Your Spellcasting Ability is the main ability score you use to cast spells. This is determined by your class. Wizards, for example, use Intelligence. Your Spell Save DC is the number that monsters will need to roll against when they make saving throws from spells you cast. The formula is determined by your class. For wizards, it's 10 plus your intelligence modifier plus your proficiency bonus. The spell attack bonus is the modifier you add to spell attack rolls. This is your spellcasting ability score modifier plus your proficiency bonus. The rest of the character sheet is dedicated to listing the spells you know, and they're divided into different sections from cantrips all the way to 9th level spells. Under cantrips, it's simple. You just list the cantrips you know in this section. Spells are numbered 1 through 9, indicating the level of the spells in each list. Next to the number is a spell slots total box. Use this to write down the number of spell slots you know for each level. You can refer to your class table to know what these totals are. A level 1 wizard has 2 level 1 spell slots. The spell slots expended box is there to keep track of how many spell slots you have used since your last long rest. Tally marks probably work best here for keeping track of how many spell slots you've used. The spell name list. Simply write down each spell you know in the list. You could copy each spell that can be cast at higher levels, like Magic Missile, into every spell level list as you level up and gain higher spell slots, but to save on space, I would recommend simply writing higher levels next to the spell so you know to check if you are able to cast Magic Missile as level 2 instead of level 1. You may have noticed little circles next to each line in the spell list. If your class requires you to prepare spells at the start of each day, like wizards, use these to mark which spells you have prepared. And that is it. Think of your spell sheet as your own personal spell book. It has all the boxes and slots that you need to keep track of your spellcasting as you play Dungeons & Dragons, and it keeps it pretty straightforward and organized. So you can focus on casting those fireballs instead of worrying about how the spell sheet actually works. Thanks for watching.